Ouch!
When you think of the colour red, what comes to mind? Delicious fruit, London buses, the searing rage of a 50-year-old Brexiteer, or how about gallons and gallons of blood? Yeah. In video game terms, red tends to mean warning, danger, something that can or has caused damage. Health meters tend to be red, and as you take damage, that red gets depleted. The screen will often go red when you get shot or hit. And then there's these things. Red exploding barrels. Usually scattered throughout the environment during combat situations, you immediately know that damaging one will lead to it exploding and causing chaos to whoever or whatever happens to be standing next to it. Now, I haven't actually got a problem with these. The fact they're so distinctive and well known means you can trust your instinct when you have to make quick decisions on the battlefield. You see one, you know instantly what they do, and can take aim to make light work of enemies. But why are they in every single game, regardless of whether they actually make any sense? And even when they do, why are they most often just dumped anywhere without thought as to whether it's realistic or not? Red exploding barrels have been in games for as long as I can remember. I've been replaying through GTA 3 recently, because I'm very old and wanted to see if the new versions really do ruin the memories of my youth. Spoiler alert! They do. The definitive collection is terrible, don't play it. Find the originals instead, they are still out there. In the last mission, you get double-crossed by the villain Catalina and have to chase her down and destroy her helicopter. Now, GTA 3 is considered the granddaddy of the modern open-world game. It's difficult to remember, but back in 2001, we'd never seen a 3D open-world sandbox like this before. On the one hand, it was revolutionary in terms of providing a playground for creative missions and open-world destruction. On the other hand, there wasn't actually anything to learn from. It was all new to developers Rockstar, and so some mistakes were made. Particular shout out to this stupid lifting bridge to Shoreside Vale. There's no boats going under it. Why is it doing this? Sorry, where was I? Yes, the last mission. So you're chasing down Catalina when you get to a dam full of guards, surrounded by shipping containers and, yes, you guessed it, red exploding barrels. That's right, the very first open world game used the same barrels we still have today. Nothing has changed in 25 years. And what's worse, they make far more sense here. Let's consider the actual real world use of red barrels. Chances are these things are full of oil, gasoline, or other flammable substances. Most likely they'd be stored somewhere far safer than out in the open air, but for argument's sake, let's say they've been left out while in use. Next to a dam, where there'll doubtless be large mechanisms that operate the thing, oh, and boats regularly in the vicinity as well, is an obvious place to find these red oil drums. In the middle of a spaceship's crew quarters, though? Yeah, no, I don't think so. Yes, let's compare the first open world game with one of the most recent, Star Wars Outlaws. As a game, it's fine. Better exploration than most Ubisoft games, though the mechanics feel a bit early 360 PS3 era. But for all the speedsters and cute sidekick buddies, the thing that rattled me was the combat encounters, which are generally really poor. Gunplay lacks weight, and you constantly drop your weapons for no apparent reason. It's got the Red Dead Deadeye thing, which, to be honest, I've always thought of the I can't play this game, do it for me button. But when it comes to the subject at hand, Outlaws is an exemplar of the problem. Too often, you run into rooms with enemies in them and find exploding barrels placed there purely for gameplay convenience. They remind you that you're just playing a video game, that this scenario has been deliberately set up for you and not for the world they're in. And it's not as if there aren't realistic alternatives for things that could go bang when you shoot them on a spaceship. You could stick electric terminals on the walls. Fuel pipes could run across the ceiling and leak onto the floor. You can make enemies carry visible grenades that you can blow up with an accurate shot. It's the ubiquity that frustrates me. Game after game after game defaults to red barrels for environmental explosions when they could be far more creative with it. Now, of course, plenty of other games have been. Watch Dogs loved using electric panels everywhere because, you know, hacking and electrics and things. And then there's the explosive, goopy stuff in Control. The exact kind of thing you'd find in a grey office building in New York. Yeah, Control is weird. You should play it. So devs, please stop littering your games with red exploding barrels. Come up with other ideas. How do you feel about red exploding barrels in games? Are there other things that feature in games constantly that annoy you? Let me know down below. Oh, and like and subscribe.